Peace and greetings, and welcome into the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age to Soup. As always, I'm Fro. I got my man DL from the ATL with me, and my man Panero from the 716. Peace to the gods.
Peace. Good to see y'all boys, man. Good week this week. I delved a little bit more into my social media. Got some things popping off over there, but this is my first week with this new project, man, and I'm really loving everything I do. Nice drive, a little bit of traffic, but still getting my hour in every day each way. But it's cool, man. It's real cool, different atmosphere, different type of people, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm glad to see y'all start a great week off with y'all boys, as always.
That's peace, man. But you know what I'm saying? You live in a metropolis. So that travel, that commute time, that's baked in.
Yeah.
Unless you working at the crib and traveling from the bedroom to your workspace, you're gonna have that in the ATL, man. Because
That's
people
true.
is still coming to ATL. To this narrow, what's good in the 716, my G?
My guys, it's good to see you guys every Sunday. Listen, I got a conflict up here I need y'all to solve real quick before we start the show. I had some coworkers, we were going back and forth about the most influential project when it comes to hip hop in New York State. You guys are where you are now, but y'all from up top, so y'all can relate to this. I got 3 joints. I want y'all to rank them. Purple Tape, Illmatic, Infamous. Done.
And I'm glad you brought that to the table, that you
Shit.
added to the soup, because that's major ingredients. We all wear our chef hats in this. MP, I'm glad you brought that up, because I am a man of a certain age, and
Yes.
time to time the mind fails to recall. But never forgets, it just fails to recall. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And last week was the 31st anniversary of Illmatic, the dropping of Illmatic. Yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the,
Infamous.
you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, we all know how I feel about the Purple Tape. And I just want to get this off. The Purple Tape holds a special place in my heart, and the Wu-Tang became family during some of the toughest times of my life. You know what I mean? Boy was sitting still, and my brother smuggled me in the Purple Tape. He smuggled me in the Purple Tape. I got my headphones on like this on my bunk,
Sure.
absorbing the Purple Tape. So the Purple Tape is always going to hold a special place in my heart forever because of that time in my life. But for real, for me, it has to be Illmatic. It has to be Illmatic, because for me, we were talking pre-show about and movies and different things of that nature, and we'll get into that a little bit later on as well. And Illmatic, it moved me. It changed the way I listened to hip hop and what I expected from hip hop. First time I got my ears on Illmatic, man, flew to Atlanta for the Freaknik '94. I get picked up from, what is it, Hartsville Airport, International Airport.
Bill Jackson, baby.
I get picked up from Hartsville International Airport by Bruce, cousin Bruce Perry. They picked me up from the airport. They got the bootleg of Illmatic. This is even before it came out. Hey, I'm listening to it on a messed up bootleg, so it wasn't clear, but you could appreciate it. But that tape dropped during the Freaknik, and you could basically hear it ringing off all over in Atlanta at that particular time. Different cars, Michigan plate, Missouri plate, California plate, New York plate, banging out Illmatic. For me, it's Illmatic because it molded. I was a young man at that particular time, and it molded me of a different way of thinking. That's me.
So that's how you rank them, though, Fro. Is that you going Illmatic, Purple, then Infamous?
If you asked the question was to rank them in what order, that's crazy because the Infamous, man.
That's some hard shit, man.
When I pulled up, And I pulled up to you at the camp. What was I screaming? Who's the richest nigga in the
projects? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that's Ghost in them, but it was on the Infamous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why the 90s is it's the foundation.
Greatest. Huh?
It's the foundation of it. That's hard to rank for me to rank them. So it's the playoffs. I'm gonna pass the ball. Maybe he'll swing it back around for me later on.
Yeah, I love the purple tape, man. I still wear my purple tape sweatshirt that Calvin made me. You know what I mean? So the purple tape, the Boy Them Boys, the drops on the joint was crazy. You know what I mean? The skits was crazy. The music was insane. Illmatic is a classic from beginning to end. That boom, when it first come on, we all remember that. But I'm gonna tell you something about Queensbridge, boy. When I tell you about the Infamous and how I rode that tape, that CD so hard, and I could literally name a joint. I could probably go with the album from beginning to end, except for the joint when they talk about being in jail. I really don't do jail, so do jail rap, jail anything. You know what I mean? But other than that, the Up North Trip joint. I even know you know what I'm saying? I even know that joint. You know what I'm saying? But that Queensbridge was something different, man. I gotta go to Infamous at the top, then I gotta go Nas, and I gotta go Purple Tape. And I love them all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate them all for what they are, but that Infamous,
You hectic?
I loved it.
What about you, Panera? How did you come down on this?
And we was at the job. We about to go into fisticuffs over this shit.
I bet.
So the thing about the Infamous, because a lot of my guys my coworkers had the Infamous on top. And I understand why they had it on top, because the Infamous had a blueprint to follow. They had influences. You know what I'm saying? The Infamous was a mixture of the Purple Tape and Illmatic.
Boom, boom,
You know what I'm saying?
boom,
So of course you're gonna like it, because it's got the mix of the best shit. But the best shit is that motherfucking, to me, in my opinion, again, because I was in the same situation Les was in, because the headphones had to get passed from him to me. And shit, I damn near tried not to give him back. That motherfucking Purple Tape changed my entire life. So I'm going Purple Tape 1, Illmatic 2. I was in college when Illmatic came out. So I fucking forgot how to study, because I'm studying this shit. Because when this shit came out, I'm like, this nigga was only 18, 16, whatever. How was he? 17 years old or shit?
17.
How the fuck is he spitting like this? So I'm in my car. I'm not going to class. People just walking by and shit. I'm listening to Nas. I'm not going to class. Fuck that. But I got to rank it Purple, Illmatic, Infamous. I love the Infamous because of the mixture of it, the production, the Q-Tip, and the drink away the pain, and how Q-Tip wasn't really a drinker. He was like us. He's a fashion dude. So he came in with the Donna Karen was crying. You know what I'm saying? He came with the fashion in the joint. So, you know, the 90s, to me, 88 was the golden era. But the 90s, man, what was we doing in the 90s, fam? We had bread. We had broads. That's why we got kids early, some of us. We was just doing too much, man. And that soundtrack was the fucking Purple Tape, Illmatic, and the Infamous, man, all day.
That's a potent lineup right there. That's those three.
No skips.
Those is like pillars.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And I know I haven't answered and ranked, right? I might have to pull a Sean Josie.
1A, 1B around this one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Illmatic 1, Purple Tape 2, and Infamous 3. Just because you asked the question.
Yeah, no doubt.
Really, I'm gonna pass it. You know what I mean? However you rank them, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with none of that.
Whatever somebody pull out, anytime somebody pull out one of those three, you with it. You know what I'm saying? No doubt.
Yeah, man. You know, we are men of a certain age, as I said. So last week was Illmatic's 31st. Yesterday was the infamous 30th. You know what I mean? We've seen a lot. We've been through a lot. You know, and rest in peace, Prodigy, as he said, blood, sweat, and tears. Brothers is gone and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout to them, man, for making timeless music.
Yes, sir.
And still making timeless music. And again, salute to Pete for that question. And before we move off of the music, man, I don't know if y'all were aware or not that Nas and Mass Appeal, his production and company, they putting out, listen to this list. They putting out Slick Rick,
Ooh.
putting out De La Soul, putting out Ghost, they putting out Ray, and they're doing Nas and Primo.
Primo.
Out.
Yeah.
So Mass Appeal is going on a massive run this year in 2025. And I've been meaning to ask y'all about this. Again, that came out last week as well. And I wanted to ask y'all about that. What's your thoughts of that lineup? And Nas being the mogul that he is, keeping people from our era relevant. What's your thoughts? I don't know if you guys were aware of that or not.
No, I wasn't, and I like the thought of it, and I like the action behind it, because we always talk about how we need to make the community more important than capitalism. This is a way that you do it. He has the reach and the ability to go ahead and help others, and in turn they help others. You know what I mean? So it's a trickle. That's a true trickle down effect. Take the big bread, you disperse it amongst the people, and they disperse it amongst their people, and it keeps on going, it keeps on working. So big shout out to Nas for that, man, and his media prowess to go ahead and keep people relevant and keep people paid. I respect it a whole lot.
Were you aware of that, Lord?
I was aware of the Primo and Nas joint coming out, but I didn't know he was bringing the greats out. In the hip hop community, we're the only community who call people old school, and it's like the younger generation don't respect the newer generation. No one else does that. They call them the greats and the classics. And, you know what I'm saying? They don't denigrate or disrespect the elders. I like what Nas is doing because it shows respect to the groundbreakers, the rappers of a certain age. You know what I'm saying? It's for us. And there should be, when they have awards and things of that nature, there's adult contemporary and this, that, and there should be an adult R&B. I'm sorry, adult hip hop, because it's us. This is for us. Now, if you want to come along as a young man, come on along. But we need our own category. We can listen to other things, but some things are just for us. And I love this, man. I'd love to hear Slick Rick again. It's 3-on-3 basketball. You know what I'm saying? Your career ain't over. You just got to play on the other side, half court. You just can't run the full court no more.
On the half court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Check it out, y'all. That's who I forget.
Nice.
That's just love. That's all that is. That's love, man. That's love. That man love hip hop, man. He gonna keep it going, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I love.
And that's my bad. I forgot Big L. I forgot the Mobb, MOBB. You look at that list, you got to check for that, right?
Yeah.
About that. My only thing is this. Y'all know me. I love Ray and Ghost. All right. My favorite Klansmen. Them two. All right. I need the Ray and Ghost album. Of course, we've had the Purple Tape. We had Purple Tape only built for Cuban Linx too, but they've never had an official Ray and Ghost album. They had the Wu massacre. That was Meth, Ray, and Ghost.
Right.
But they never had a joint album. You can say the Purple Tape, or you know what I mean.
That's just Ray though.
That's classified as Ray's album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking forward to that work from Master Pill. Salute to the God Nas, a pillar to the culture, man, and keeping real brothers alive and doing their thing, man.
Yes, sir.
But as we continue on this episode of The Soup, please hit that bell. When they hit that bell, what happens, UH?
They get that notification that we're coming at them on Wednesday. I see the times are switched up. 4:30, was it 3:30 now? I don't know. Like I was driving the car last week.
That's why you need to hit that notification bell.
Yeah. The joint came up at 3:30 this week. I was like, whoa, okay, we get in early this week. So yeah.
Soup was hot, fam. The soup was hot.
Hit that notification bell. You gonna know when it come on. You know what I'm saying? But as we continue on, man, on this episode, we are in the middle of one of our favorite seasons of the year, and that's NBA playoff season. UH was feeling good because Chef Curry was cooking boys up, putting them in the stew. What was your thoughts about yesterday's game?
I'm gonna start from the first joint. I'm gonna start with the easy one. And obviously, SGA is MVP. His game is fluid, smooth. He plays defense. He can get into any spot he wants. So OKC over Memphis, that was a cakewalk. That Denver.
Good thought right there. Memphis Grizzlies. It's time to let Ja go.
You think so?
It is time it has run its course in Memphis with Ja Morant.
Didn't they just sign him to another deal? They just signed him to a contract last season.
Exactly. Who's the first boy he told you about Ja?
Me?
I got Ja, bro.
I love the kid. You know what I mean? From when he was doing his thing in college, right?
Murray State, yeah.
Now he is part of the Memphis culture, man. And the man cannot stay healthy. People was always ragging on Zion, rightfully.
Yeah.
But Ja, I should call him Za. One of them be out there playing, but it's time to make the trade.
But where would he go? Would they switch him and Trae Young? Because he can't come to Atlanta. He can't go to New York. He has to go to a bigger market team or to a smaller market team. What, in Minnesota? Where would they send him? Orlando?
Want to send them to a smaller, necessarily
market
team because only smaller is like OKC. OKC don't need him.
Orlando.
He could fit in Orlando. Orlando would be a good move for him because they could use that. But wherever, it's time for him to get the hell out of Memphis.
You know what though? KG said this, and I thought he was hating at one point. He was like, Ja just relies on athletic ability.
Exactly.
And I was like, why are you hating on this kid? But then he's always injured, which means he doesn't work out like he needs to work out. He only relies on his athletic ability, which it looks good for highlights and in games. But if you're not available, you know what I'm saying? Then it's not good for the team. And then Les said, you're in that culture in Memphis with this all it is and this, that, and the third.
Bang.
He need to go sit down somewhere, man, and just focus on his health, working out, and playing basketball. Because obviously he's a talent, but you can have all the talent in the world and be sitting down somewhere because you didn't hurt yourself because you don't work out enough.
I'm sorry to rip it away from you. I'm gonna pass it back to you.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's all good. No worries. Cleveland is a little bit too much right now for them boys. Denver and LA, that's a good series. Now that's could probably definitely go in 7 games because I don't see anybody really just running away with that or winning 2 games in a row. That was a hell of a game yesterday, hell of a comeback by the Clippers, but a hell of a rebound by Aaron Gordon. Last night, Wardell. At this point, what more can you say about Steph Curry, Doug? You can't. The man he's on Kobe levels of clutch at this point.
The man texted me Wardell, and that was it.
The man is entering Kobe levels of clutch performances consistently. Like, I trust no other player in the NBA more than Steph Curry right now. I trust him more than LeBron. I trust him more than Luka. I trust him more than Kyrie. I trust Steph Curry to show up when the time is needed. I do. He's definitely my favorite player in the league right now. Hands down. Hands down. Not even close.
Can't tell. I would have never guessed that.
Really?
Panera, what's
Hold on, Don. What about the Lakers though? What was immediately forgot about that shit, right?
yeah, he's still
I don't have nothing to say about the Lakers. The Lakers got to speak for themselves today. That's all. If we have this, listen, the Lakers need to speak for themselves today. I can't say nothing else. I can't say nothing to them. I can't say nothing to them. I can't say nothing about them. They got to speak for themselves. They got to be the Lakers. Have some pride, Lakers. Have some pride.
It's pretty much a guarantee that they're gonna win this game today. That's just how it is with the NBA. I would be shocked if Minnesota, not to say that they can't, but I would be shocked if Minnesota run them boys today.
Yeah, I would be too.
Panero, what's your thoughts on the playoffs so far?
I'm loving it. I'm intrigued. It reminds me a lot of the Randy Smith League, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving it. I think SGA is that dude. I know Les ain't an OKC guy, but you know what? When they got rid of Memphis, I texted you guys about Pippen Jr. It was
Yeah, he was balling.
This was his opportunity with Ja on the bench not playing to show, check me out. Watch this right here. He made some mistakes, but the most of it, 80-20, he balled out. And I know his father got to be proud of him. He's a good player. I'm going to be looking forward to him doing other things. Last night, the Clippers, man, and the Nuggets with that air ball ass alley-oop shit, yo. What the fuck was that? Was that some motherfucking Flint Tropics? Did you see him shoot that shit? Was it a shot? Or was it
Chris Washburn?
It was luck.
That's what all that shit was. And luckily the shit went in before the red light came on because they were going back and forth with it. And I'm like, yo, is that shit good? What the hell's going on here? But again, it was down to the wire. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Peppermint Lounge against the motherfucking Hot Ice Ski Club. That's how this shit looked to me. You know what I'm saying? I know we are men of a certain age. We all from Brooklyn, New York. Y'all probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if you're from the town and you went up to Humboldt Park and you went to these games, it was packed. Sometimes you couldn't even get a seat. There was this place called the Peppermint Lounge from the Fruit Belt. The whole area was orange. Everybody had on orange, man, for this squad. So I take it back to that. It makes me feel like, yo, this is like the Randy Smith League, man. I can't get out of my chair. You know what I'm saying? I got to have my drink. You know what I'm saying? I can't move. But I'm loving the playoffs, man.
Yeah, man. As we continue on, it's been some great games. You got to admit, the Clippers arena is love, yo.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
They creating their own environment over there and
their own culture.
Yeah, man. That one definitely looks like it's gonna go the distance.
Yeah.
And OKC gonna be at the crib chilling, eating grapes and stuff, waiting for them. Whoever come in beat up, they gonna be fresh. And
oh yeah,
after they swept Memphis right back down the road, it's all about today at 1:00.
Ooh.
And what is it? Little Caesars Arena.
Pizza.
Yeah, man. Square pizza eating motherfuckers. You know?
Detroit style.
It's Detroit style. Yeah, man. But hopefully, Cat can be aggressive.
Yes.
And stay aggressive. Because we already know what Brunson gonna do. You see the experts, and they always talking about the best player in that series is Cade Cunningham. No, Cade Cunningham is the most talented player. Not at this point in time, at this moment, he is not the best player.
Oh, Brunson out there working them boys, and I'm not even a Knicks fan. He out there doing it to him.
Say it again.
He out there doing it to him. I'm definitely not a Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks hater. I will admit it. I'm a Knicks hater. I hate every team in the East. Thank you. Appreciate that. Except Atlanta. Atlanta, the only team I like in the East. Everybody else I hate them, but your boys balling.
In the West. After the Dominique era, they might as well be out west.
Anyway, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. Cat has to step up and continue to be aggressive. Last game, he had a couple threes, and I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because I don't want him to start staying in love
right
with the tray ball. We gotta have it. Today is gonna be a good game because Detroit is gonna play super hard because they know if they lose today,
Right.
it's a ran. The Lakers, I enjoy it when they lose. I really do. It's funny that they got LBJ and then they got Luca. So it's like two of my least favorite players in the NBA on the same team. So it's like I have nothing but disdain for the LA Lakers. They call them the fakers. Those guys over there. But 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in Little Caesars Arena in downtown Detroit. The Knickerbockers gonna come through for us one time, Lord.
Mm.
But as we continue on, please share, subscribe, and comment down low. Thursday night, the draft jumped off. The NFL draft jumped, which was very interesting. The talk was we were going to see if Shedeur Sanders, the son of the great Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, where was he going to go? That was really the draft. You might as well say that was what the draft was about. Where is Shedeur going to go? Salute to all those guys who reached their dreams of getting drafted and being a player but in the NFL. But the NFL is still nothing but the good old boys network.
Yeah.
Them good old boys. They watch Shedeur and they watch Prime these last 2 years get all that pub and all those eyeballs out in Colorado. And they was taking notes on what was going on. They knew at the end of the day they were gonna have the last laugh on Prime and Shedeur. Shout out to Shiloh.
Got picked up, by the Bucks.
Yeah, exactly. As you tuned in, I don't know how much of the draft you watched, Don. When you tuned in on the draft, were you interested to see where Shedeur was going to land?
I was, because it was interesting to see the type of whether his image was going to outweigh his performance. And Cam Ward, obviously, number 1 pick, Travis Hunter, number 2 with the trade going down to Jacksonville to be put on injury reserve 3 times a year. But the next interesting thing was the Shedeur, and that's what it was all about. Everybody was just waiting and watching, to the point where you had people making prank phone calls when he didn't make it, or calling the man on a prank or making light of it. People wondering why this dude Dart, who can't throw a dart, is actually going to be paid for throwing a football. Just the people, Jalen Milroe, okay, but he doesn't have an arm.
He's like a project player, right?
He's like a Lamar Jackson if Lamar Jackson had no throwing skills.
Right.
Okay. So to see all these guys go in front of Shedeur, and I know I watched Shedeur a couple of times. I didn't think he was the best quarterback. I thought that he had a problem with dropping back and losing a lot of yards, and that's something that's going to haunt him in the pros when he didn't have any options, or because he was so intent on not being a running quarterback. So he was trying to be a pocket passer, and that eventually cost him in some certain situations. But it was interesting to see how they had so much disdain for his attitude and the fact that they felt he was cocky and a showboat, and they were trying to compare him against Cam, basically saying that he came up there, was number 1 pick, no jewelry, no big parties, just came in, he's going to work, but this guy wants to make music and do this, that, and the other, and that's the contrast. I think there was a coordinated effort,
yes,
by the ownership, general managers of the league, to make sure that they try to humble him in some way, shape, or form. The problem with that, and this is the good thing about the whole situation, by him going to where he went to Cleveland, where they quite possibly have the weakest quarterback room in the league. So consequently, he's going to have the opportunity to prove himself. And more than likely, he's going to end up being the starter. You know what I mean? And the thing about it, he's got the NIL money, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Obviously, he's Deion's son, so that's another part of it. But I think it's a blessing in disguise because it gives him a chance to prove that he's better than these 4 corpses he got in the room with him. So shouts out to Shedeur Sanders, man. I want to say I'm not a Browns fan, but I want to see you do well.
Word up. I'm glad you brought up the whole pranky thing. Let's get into that real quick. Check this.
It is crazy, man.
the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, his son is in the frat. So he was actually in the picture. That cat right back here that I'm pointing to just stood up. That's the DC for the Falcons' son.
What?
This guy right here.
Oh yeah, he got a problem now.
That's the DC's son. This that dude. So it's a bunch of BS is what it is. And it's another prime example of we don't own shit.
Right.
Black owners in the NFL, fuck the black coach in the GM because they work for the white owner. And it was a classic example of we're gonna put you in your place. I know that you still a boy at the end of the day. You know, that's how I saw it. And for those kids to call him and prank him like that, and it's all over. There's got to be consequences and repercussions behind that as well. What's your thoughts on that, P?
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. The Shield. The Shield is the good old boys. They're white owned, and they're not accustomed to a black affluent family coming into a situation where they don't need the Shield. They have money. The kids just want to play football. And it's a shame that they treated him like that, to have him go in the 5th round purposely to a team that his father said earlier that they didn't want to go to. So it's not like you're not the Mannings, you're not the Elways.
Saturdays presents Round 1.
Hey, is this Shedeur? This is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
Wow.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
This can't just be legendary.
Yeah, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
We could have got that.
Those Europeans out there and Ole Miss doing what they do. And like I said, man, it really needs to be consequences and repercussions
Definitely
behind that, straight up and down. You know?
Yeah, and Ole Miss historically is one of the most, as a matter of fact, probably the most racist public institution in the country. You're here, pick football players. I was just watching some stuff on YouTube a few weeks ago about a football player who played there, and he was like, "Yo, he was."
I saw that.
You come off the bus, see the boys in the Klan outfits and all that type of nonsense. And Mississippi is something serious. There's the highest number of black people in Mississippi, but it's constantly a red state because of the fact that basically take away their citizens' rights down there through either abject poverty or through the criminal justice system. So Mississippi is definitely some place where you're not surprised that something like that comes from. Not at all. Not at all.
Seeing Confederate flags a while ago at Ole Miss football games.
Yeah, definitely.
And they just right out in front with it. They don't care. No?
Definitely. And that's why when they had Eli Manning, I think Eli went there. I think Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was never a big fan, and the big fan of him is because I understood exactly what was going on over there. Like, why would you go to Ole Miss? Why not go to LSU? Why not go to, you know what I'm saying? Why not even go to Mississippi State? Go to the Bulldogs, you know what I mean? But Ole Miss is clearly a white, elitist, racist Southern institution, without a question.
Yeah. And the thing is, here up in Buffalo, we got the Buffalo Sabres, where the management is horrible, just horrible. But the Cleveland Browns is, yo, hold my beer. Watch this shit.
No.
How you have the pick, you could have taken Travis Hunter, but you trade that pick to Jacksonville, they get Travis Hunter. Then later on, you go get Shedeur Sanders. Motherfucker, you could have had both. You could have had Shedeur and Travis Hunter if you didn't trade your pick to Jacksonville. Come on, man. Cleveland is horrible. And one other thing about Shedeur is he never had an offensive line in college. That's why he dropped back a lot. He had no protection. If this kid gets protection, I'm telling you, man, He throwing darts like every member of the Wu-Tang because he could throw the football. He's not a mobile. He's not a runner. Even though his father was one of the fastest people on the earth, he's not a runner of the ball. But, man, I'm telling you, he can place it 50 yards into a Dixie cup because he's accurate. And he gets that from he's trained with Brady. So he's cerebral, he's accurate, he's tough because he's been hit. He's the most sacked quarterback in college because the O-line is horrible. He get an O-line in front of him, man. And that chip he got on his shoulder from everybody passing him up. Like, he's going to destroy Pittsburgh, man. You done passed this man up twice. You're in the same division with him now? Shit.
Terrible. But check this, fellas. Check this out.
That shows you that Tomlin ain't got that much power that you think he got.
He don't.
About this incident that happened involving two white boys from Ole Miss decided it'd be a good idea to prank call Shedeur Sanders about him getting drafted.
Speak right here, man.
This thing must be legendary.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
Was not the guy who made the call, but the guy sitting next to the person who made the call. This is the son of an NFL coach, specifically the defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich's son, was one of the masterminds behind this idiotic scheme. He's a DC for the Atlanta Falcons, and he ought to know that Deion Sanders has unique ties to the Falcons. And if I was Deion, I would call to get his bitch ass fired.
So there's the smoking gun right there, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Stupid white boys doing stupid white boy shit. Once again, man, hopefully the other kids that's coming up, that's watching, they'll learn from this. And hopefully, and I'm sure Shedeur, Deion, and Shiloh, they'll learn from this. For me, I don't see how Deion didn't see this coming. He's been playing the game longer than anybody, dealing with these young owners and different things. Even his man, Gerald, didn't make a move to come draft him. But again, you want to stay humble. There's nothing wrong with being humble. Here it is. Cam Ward got drafted here in Nashville as the #1 boy. And the scuttlebutt online was because he came out with the plain Jane suit. He didn't come with the Versace suit and the baguettes and all of that. Now he's labeled as a house nigga because he came in and actually played the role. Here it is. You the #1 draft pick. And like I was telling my man in the barbershop, I don't have no problem with those other kids coming out there and wearing the diamonds and all of that. But it ain't nothing wrong with him coming out and just being casual.
Yeah, that don't make you a house nigga because you came out regular. It's who you are. That's your personality.
Exactly. And it's too much negative, and the negative feeds everything. So as we put that to bed, we'll now turn our sights to really the hottest subject of the week. And it happened early in the week. And let me give y'all a little clip of what I'm talking about here.
Anything I say, you're just
Oh.
gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like,
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you. Thank you.
I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
And that led
To my family, friends, supporters, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z.
why he had to bring Jay-Z up?
Because Jay-Z got away with it. He ain't.
He could have said other black men. He didn't have to call that man.
Yeah, he didn't want to say Diddy.
He didn't. He could have said
Black man and left it at that. I agree with that.
left it at that. He done threw Jay-Z back into the fire.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of
Yeah, 10 minutes of good work. Oh, Shannon.
releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Shannon Sharpe.
Well,
I'm
being the only single, being a lifelong single male, and being a man of a certain age, right? I actually posed this question to my Facebook followers and friends yesterday. I said, at 54, what's the youngest person I should date? Because when Shannon met this person, he was 54, she was 19. So I posed the question, right? And I didn't answer. I didn't like it. I just looked at people's answers. People 35, whatever age you want, 40, 47, 50, blah, blah, blah. Whew. Here's my personal view on it. Shannon obviously didn't understand the way these young girls move. These young girls move completely different. Like, you may hit them with the sexual aggression and the talk off and things like that, but they're used to that and they know how to manipulate that because what? They grew up on what? Internet porn.
Yeah.
They grew up on internet porn. So anything that you can possibly think of, they probably seen and or maybe have experienced to this point. So I think that he made the grave mistake of playing a game with someone who knew the rules of the game, where him being old and playerish was expecting something else. He thought he was out maneuvering her and manipulating her when she had him from the beginning, because his mistake was I can't say what his mistake was. I think his mistake was just talking to a 19-year-old, period. Mm-hmm. I think that's where it starts, right? Yeah. Because even in this day and age, and like I said, I'm single as hell. I'm in the city for the beautiful women that are 18 to 80, and I can smash them all, whether they blind, crippled, and crazy. Legally, I can smash them all if I want.
You single?
To, right? Yeah. If I wanted to, and 18 is a permissible age. But I think his problem was he tried to date her as opposed to just a purely smashing NDAs. You do this, you do that. We have our little play and fun time, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? Pay her a little 25 stacks a month. You know what I mean? Keep her quiet, have your little fun. This, that, the other. Now the man that causes is fumbling. Is fumbling $100 million bag. ESPN is not going to bring him back. I don't know. They are not going to bring him back unless he comes back as a Christian minister or something like that. Because Disney don't play those games. And they don't play those games with black men, especially. You know what I'm saying? You think about what they did for Paul Pierce.
Black men with
white women.
Oh, but just period. Just think about what they did to Paul Pierce.
Black men with white women.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if she was white or Spanish or whatever she was. I know she wasn't.
He was white.
You know what I'm saying? My thing is that he's not coming back from that, man. And I think he just got outmaneuvered by somebody. He clearly should have just smashed and kept it moving. You got personal with somebody who, it just was a series of bad decisions, man. It's just a series of bad decisions from her age to the recording and to the BDSM play, the kink play and all that stuff. Now you coming out as you like race play and her, you know what I'm saying? Who knows it's on his tapes, man? Yo, this man just 100 million, son.
She wanted a big black baby. That's wild.
You going with Jimmy the Greek, fam?
She said she wanted a big black. I want you to put a big black baby in. Panero, you heard about Shannon's escapade coming out. What was your thoughts on it?
My thoughts was I wasn't surprised. My thoughts was Cat Williams warned him. He told him, you know what I'm saying? White women are beautiful, but I'm scared of them, and you should be too. Monique told him, Shannon, sit your ass down. You 56 and you still messing with these young girls. You know what I'm saying? Sit down somewhere, get you somebody that's going to love you, make you a sandwich, and pour you some cognac. But, oh, no. He got to keep going and shit. I responded to Don. I think I was the first who responded to Don. I was like, yo, get you somebody half your age plus 7. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
34. 34, there you go.
Man, that's what half your age plus 7. Peace. You know what I mean? But Shannon was right on one point, though, where I think is when that 100 million came in, everything, the buzz went out. Like, Shannon about to get 100 million. I think the radar went to Busby, because you know what Busby do. You know what I mean? It's like when Deshaun Watson was like, I don't want to play here no more. Busby with the females with the allegations. Hove with the broad said she went from Rochester to New York in 6 minutes. Took the fucking 8 main in the Utica station and ended up down in Times Square somewhere. Busby. You know what I'm saying? $100 million. Busby. What'd you call him, Fro, earlier? Ambulance chaser. Busby. So he right on that aspect. But again, you put yourself in these situations, man. You should know it's coming. It's coming, and it's happened to you. And like Don said, Disney not going for this shit, man. You don't. I had to go to Medicine Society, man. You done fucked up, right? You done fucked up.
Listen, man. Like you said, when the news came out about him getting that 100 million,
it was over.
People heard that and they went Frank Wright.
Yeah.
If it's a nickel bag sold out in Central Park,
I want a piece.
You guys have been getting fat. You know what I'm saying? Tragic, man. For me, I was like, yo, OnlyFans? This is who you dealing with? I mean,
I'm gonna have to get my eyes on OnlyFans and see what she really working with. Shit, fuck it.
Sent the picture in the text of what she looked like.
You ain't see it, Don?
I'm not. I saw the picture. I might want to get her footage. I'm gonna have to hop on and get my eyes on her OnlyFans. Give her $3.99. I give her $3.99.
I thought it took me right to billions. With my man Chuck was going to the bondage places and getting worked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I'm thinking, I'm like, dog, you ain't dealing with a updated type of woman. What are we doing here? But again, if this is what you into, that's what you do. As they say, what you do in the dark will soon come to the light. Go ahead, UH.
I'm just saying, I've dealt with a lot of women, dog, like a lot of women in different aspects. But sexually, dog, it's a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? It's a mismatch for a man of my age and experience to lay down with somebody that young. You know what I'm saying? It's a mismatch. Like, where's your ego? What part of your ego isn't satisfied to the point where you have to go sleep with somebody who's probably younger than one of your daughters? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my thing.
Probably they were.
That's wild, man.
We had this conversation a long time ago at your house one time, and I told you I could never date nobody younger than my son.
Yeah.
You know, now when I was a single man, that was my cutoff. I'm definitely not going to subject myself to be dating somebody or trying to mess with somebody my son's age or
younger.
I
remember that.
Obviously, Shannon
ego
was being kinky with this young kinky girl when they set him up for the fall. Can you really be dealing with this person seriously and you know that she's OnlyFans and they've got cuts of him talking to Chad about seeing I don't know how many OnlyFans women he's dealt with. But one of their fans that one of his women that was on OnlyFans showed him a $20,000 check. This is what I make a month by doing my OnlyFans thing.
He was out here just tricking off. He's just out here just tricking. Okay, you keep on tricking and look at what you get tricked out your bag. That's why they call it tricking, you stupid.
Yeah, it seemed like he had feelings for this one though. Like, how you got feelings for some OnlyFans chick, B?
They said they met up over 100 times from 2022 to or 2023 until present day.
He was taking it to her every other week.
Yeah, they was getting busy.
Yeah.
Chuck Rhodes. They had Chuck Rhodes tied up, ball in his mouth, with clothespins on his nipples.
Oh man.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I think I would rather be a crackhead rather than to be into that. I don't really want to. Definitely don't want to be neither one of them. I don't.
You had a choice, huh?
If this is what it's gonna be. I'm gonna be talking about boo.
You gonna hear the noise, huh, fam? You gonna go chasing it forever, huh?
And listen, man,
oh my God,
it's shit crazy. But there was some other news in the entertainment news. Kanye is back in the news again.
No.
Kanye says that he and his cousin got into his pop's Playboys. And that took me back, really, because my man who stayed across the street from me, European, his pops had the Playboys. You know what I'm saying? And his moms and dad got divorced, and when they got divorced, he left, but his Playboy stayed in the house. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first introduction to Playboys, and I'm like close to Kanye's age when he was talking about getting into. So I'm like, yeah, but that didn't make us start. You know what I'm saying?
With each other.
Yeah, but yeah, this man said that he got into his pops Playboy stash and used to go over his cousin's house, and him and his cousins was enjoying the Playboys and saying, if they could do it, why not us? So this man says that he was giving brains to his cousin. He was like 14 years old. And then when he got to be 14 years old, he realized, yo, this ain't where I want to be. On my knees at grandma's house in the back of the garage. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost coming clear that this guy has been through a lot of
trauma,
stuff in his world, man. And he probably should have been talking to, like when he first came on the scene, he should have been talking to a psychiatrist.
Right.
Right now, man, he's off his rocker. Why would he bring that to light?
I think and obviously we don't have any idea what anyone else goes through personally with things like that. But I think for him, the internet is not the best forum to do that. It makes it look like, even though it may be something that's psychologically harmful or psychologically harmed him or influenced the way that he thought, that's not public fodder. And we talked a few weeks ago about having shame. And I think that with this day and age that we have a drastic reduction in shame. People just aren't ashamed of anything anymore. Now, not saying that's something that you should bury because obviously it's had a heavy psychological effect on them, but this is not the public. I shouldn't know that. You know what I mean? Go talk to your psychiatrist about that. You got the money. You can buy a whole psychiatry firm. You can have them come and talk to you when you're sleeping. You can use all kinds of methods, but to put it out as public fodder on the internet, which lessens the value. It may increase awareness to things like that, but it lessens the value of it when it becomes something that a lot of people are looking at as just another cry for attention. So obviously there are things that happened, and I'm somebody who first stumbled upon adult material when I was young at my godparents' house, and I saw the girls in the afros, and then we got the tapes, and then you know what I'm saying, you move from the tapes to the buzzes in the TV and trying to, you know what I'm saying, turn the TV down mad low and watch HBO late night on Cinemax. You know, we were all curious as far as what it is, and that's part of being a young adult. But I never delved into that aspect of sexuality. And I think that maybe this is what I've never heard of, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I've never heard of a guy being gay and then going straight. I've just never seen it. I've heard of guys being straight and then going gay, but I've never seen guys being gay and then going straight, which leads me to believe that you're still gay. So I'll leave it at that.
So obviously he definitely need to be on the couch talking to Dr. Malfi,
Man.
instead of telling all of us what happened between him and his cousin from the ages of 7, 8 to 14.
7, 8.
Yeah, that's what he said.
God.
That's what he said. Pete, did you even hear that story?
I got it from y'all, man. So then I had to look it up. I'm like, what is these dudes talking about now, man? I look on my phone, I look on my jack. I'm like, uh-oh, what'd he do now? Then when I looked it up, I was like, wow, it's traumatic. And he shouldn't be putting his business out there like that. But why did he do it? That's my thing is, why? Let me go a little deeper. Why did Kanye do this? There's a gay community out there, isn't there? They like music too, don't they? So how about I go out and put my business out there about me being gay? Because if you are having oral sex with another male and you're a male between the ages of 8 and 14, sir, you are gay. So how about I put this out there that I'm gay, and maybe I can get more likes, clicks. I can get more from the gay community, along with the community who loves the Klan, along with whoever else I can get to. Because why would you do this? Why? Instead of, like Don said, you can purchase a whole psychiatry firm and have them visit you on a regular basis. You got enough money. But you go on the internet. Come on, man. You go on the internet and you put this out there. You did it for a reason. The reason is you're looking for attention and publicity. And I think he needs, like I said earlier before we started the show, you can tell if he's on meds when he's been off them for a while, because you must be off them if you're going on the internet and telling the world that you've been sucking pee for years. For years. And you're not gay, son, you're gay. And he wants the people to know. I'm telling you, he wants you to know it. So because it's all financial to him. It's all about them. And then I saw something, did y'all see where he said Kendrick can't rap? He's not a good rapper? Yeah. He's losing his mind. But he's doing it for profit. So he's saying Kendrick ain't a good rapper because he knows a lot of people don't like Kendrick because they're not like us. So he thinks he can gather them people too. Let me get the gays. Let me get the people who don't like Kendrick. Let me get them Klan members up under my wing. Kanye, unreal.
I just keep going back to, I'm just glad that I wasn't invested in this dude, because if I was invested in him, it would really bother me how he's been acting the last 15 years or so.
Yeah,
really, ever since he married Kim Kardashian. If I was invested in that guy, I would really be messed up with the moves and different things he's making.
And look he's got children too watching this, man. Yeah. Man, come on, man.
And he said that he should have impregnated Paris Hilton instead of Kim.
Oh, I ain't hear that one. Word.
He called her something. He said if he would have impregnated Paris Hilton, he would be on. He'd have a couple Hiltons. He'd have a couple Hiltons and this and that and the third. He called her something. He called Kim Kardashian the help or something. He called her compared to Paris Hilton. You know what I mean?
Now she the help. Right.
Now, you know what's wild about him, man? And this is why I think that it's more so. The more I think about this, the more I think about it's attention grab. Think about what he did a few weeks ago when he came out with the hood and the swastika.
Yeah.
And that was hot for a second. And then he tried to drop some music behind it. But everybody was like, oh, they're more concerned about the hood and the swastika. So now he's out. He's okay, that didn't get enough attention for, like you said, for what I wanted. So let me try this. Let me go ahead and say let me go and expose this part of my life. And I'm just going to come out and say it's fucked up for him to do that, because there are people who really have situations like that, who need the help and a public display of your basically molestation, because he was, and you got to think about it, he was the molester in the situation.
Exactly.
He was the one that was whatever to the other dude. You know what I'm saying? So he, in effect, is a child molester, and that's something that's being left out of it as well. That he was the one who through one way or another, clearly on his however they choose to do it, was manipulating his younger cousin, man. So that's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy that this man is so intent on getting attention that he is willing to have no shame.
None.
And totally disrespect.
Kanye West surprised fans when he said he wished he had kids with Paris Hilton instead of Kim Kardashian. The 47-year-old rapper made the unusual comment during a Twitch live stream that was later deleted before he was banned from the platform. His remarks stirred up his ongoing feud with his ex-wife Kim, who is the mother of his 4 children.
I said I had babies with Paris Hilton over Kim Kardashian. You guys, could you imagine if I had kids with Paris Hilton, how many hotels I have now?
Kanye West when he said he wished he had kids with Paris Hilton instead of Kim Kardashian. The 47-year-old rapper made the unusual comment during a Twitch live stream that was later deleted before he was banned from the platform. His remarks stirred up his ongoing feud with his ex-wife Kim, who is the mother of his 4 children.
I said I had babies with Paris Hilton over Kim.
So yeah,
he's a madman.
I'm gonna say like this. I'm not wishing this on him. I don't believe he makes it out of 2025, man.
I think he needs to go somewhere where there's some walls that are all made out of beds. Like he needs an evaluation. He needs to sit down, man. He needs to sit down.
He was crashing out. But one other thing I want to go over with y'all before we get out of here, since we talking about celebrities and whatnot, we just got off of Shannon. Pause. But this next thing I'm going to share with y'all has to do with Mr. Sharpe and another celebrity that we know very well. So hold tight. I'll be right back.
Man, he needs some help, bro.
Yeah, Yeezy got me messed up, though, because when he first came out with that college dropout and even the Sick Twisted Fantasy joint was fire.
First 3 albums was gangster.
Joints was ridiculous.
His first 3 albums was gangster, yo.
But and Fro never.
Nope.
Never. Fro was like, it's something about that cat right there. I'm not
the
with
backpack.
That cat, man.
The backpack and the heavy polo all the time.
Yeah, man.
Backpack, heavy polo, man. That dude.
And plus, he was rocking what we was rocking when he first came out. He got the low bear on and all that. I'm like, okay. Fro was like, no, I'm not fucking with that cat.
Incredible. Fucking incredible, man.
I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and Jack said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy. But I was in a group chat the other day, or actually just yesterday, and said he's paying top dollar for any information on old boy.
Shaq Diesel.
Shaq got the bread to do it.
Is Shaq Diesel the big hater?
Shaq gives me Candace Owen vibes, man. I don't know. There's something about him, man. You know, that he flips around a lot. Sometimes I think he down, and then sometimes I think he like, you know what, I got enough money that I don't have to be. Why are you hating on Shannon like that? What was it? Shannon got that $100 million spot Shaq wanted, or what?
Shannon said Shaq could have been the greatest had
okay. But he didn't work at it.
Take his.
But he was lazy.
That's what Kobe said, though. It's true, right?
Taking care of himself better and working out. And he was saying Jokic is better. So Shaq took that Percy. So I'll bring it to you, UH, before we wrap on this sizzling episode of The Soup. Is Shaq the big hater?
It looks like Shaq is the big Aristotle. He is putting his brain to work and using his resources to get what he wants. He's going to bury him. And that goes to the 48 laws of power. Crush your enemy completely so that they can't come back. And if he can, and if that's true with what we just saw, any more dirt comes up on Shannon, it's like I said, it's over for me, ESPN.
Yeah.
You can forget that. But any more dirt comes up on Shannon, he's just going to have to be left with a nightcap.
A lot of boys don't get on with Shaq because Shaq was the boy who came from Arenas' wife. It wasn't his wife, it was his girl at the time. What's her name? Gloria? Not Gloria, that's Matt Barnes' ex-wife. Her sister is who Gilbert Arenas has the kid with Elijah.
Oh.
She was on Basketball Wives. She was on Basketball Wives too. But they said Shaq propositioned her with making her a proposition that she couldn't hit her with the Godfather type shit.
Wow.
Hit her with a proposition she can't refuse, with an offer that she couldn't refuse. So a lot of boys is like, Shaq, shady. He gonna break bread to get on, and if you go slanderous, he gonna break bread so that you get your back dirty.
Wow.
So it seems to be Shaq is the big hater.
Wow. You never know people. You don't know people, and you don't know people personally. That's why we can't. Worship these celebrities, because you don't know what type of people they actually are. They might be fucking scumbags, bro.
As KG and Paul call him Hookah Doncic.
Oh my God.
Hookah Doncic. But yeah, man, you gotta watch these cats, man, because the people who you think are your friends, they your friends when it's convenient for them. You know what I'm saying? We've all had to learn those type of lessons throughout our lifetimes. But this was the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. Before we wrap, what you got going on out there in Atlanta, Georgia business?
Well, you know what? I'm actually gonna take it away from Atlanta, Georgia today. We're gonna take it all the way. We're gonna talk about two things real quick. The first thing is the Sinners movie. The Sinners movie is obviously been doing great. It's all over the internet. Everybody's talking about it. Seems to be a big thing for most of us. I liken it to the Black Panther thing, where a lot of us came out in costumes and had a lot of pride, per se, after watching a movie, which is dope. But for me, I really just looked at it as a movie. And I received a little bit of flack about that. But the reason why is because it is a movie. I have understanding of Jim Crow South. I have understanding of African spirituality. I do know my great grandmother. I did see her, who was a son and probably was a daughter of slaves. So I look at things, I've always looked at things from that point of view, whereas I understand the intricate connection between us and our people and our ancestors. So it wasn't really a big thing to me, not to minimize the effort, negotiations, the success, the writing, the acting, everything to do with the movie, even up into the way that it was shot. Not minimizing anything, it was excellent, but to me, it wasn't a earth-shattering spiritual awakening that some people are. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is, I know these white people have or as Fro likes to call them, Europeans, or the media to a certain extent has co-opted a lot of phrases, DEI, woke. What's another one that they use? Bro, and we can go back to even as far as that. But one thing that I haven't seen a lot of pushback on, and speaking of Shannon Sharpe, is the word ebony. Remember when ebony was a symbol of pride? People named Ebony. There's a substance called ebony. That was always a symbol of pride for Black people. If you met somebody named Ebony, that was more than likely a dark-skinned, beautiful Black woman, right? They have co-opted that. They have co-opted the word ebony into what? A porn category. That's the only time you really. Wow. That's the only time you really hear ebony mentioned is through porn. You know what I mean? And that's something. Not even Ebony magazine anymore. Ebony has become synonymous with black sexuality.
Wow.
I want y'all to think about that.
All right.
Crazy.
No doubt. Panero, what you got for us one good time?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on real quick on black businesses. Here at Men of a Certain Age, we support black businesses. Fro said we pro Mike Tyre. But I want all these black businesses to understand something. You have to support the black consumer, meaning you have to have your things in order. You have to make sure that you're serving us properly. You have to make sure that your etiquette is right. Because just because you're black, you can't just shove me something and say it's black owned and support it if it's not a good product. If you're going to be a dishwasher, be the best dishwasher if that's what you're doing. So I support black businesses, but if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's right and wrong is wrong. I'm not going to support you. It's just that simple. So let's get it together, man. If you're going to have a business, make sure that you're doing the right thing by the person that's supporting you, because you can't treat us like shit and expect support from us. That's for men of a certain age.
Yo, do it. Yo, get it together. Just get it together.
Get those shit together.
Just get it together.
So yeah, man, that was the wise, intelligent words from my comrades Panero and my man down in the ATL. And we're gonna wrap this up as we always do. It's the same old soup. We just reheating it. Knicks and 6.
Let's get it. 1 o'clock, baby. It's almost time.
Yes, it is.
Peace, peace, peace.
All right, y'all.